tonight, Penn State will play BU. It'll be the second game tonight. Western Michigan is going to play Denver in the first game. Now, we know Denver's obviously a great program. Mm-hmm. Boston University is a great program. Western Michigan don't know as much about. But on the stage tonight, it'll include a brand name that everybody recognizes from football out there. The sport needed another brand name out there. It's great when Michigan is playing in the Frozen Four. It's great when Minnesota's playing in the Frozen Four, Wisconsin. But now you've got a new entry, Penn State, as a brand name playing in the Frozen Four. It is great for the sport overall. Because, look, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. With everything happening financially right now, and Penn State, I don't know if I talked about this with you yesterday or not, but Penn State had a meeting this week about, everybody knows Penn State's going to go to the limit of $20.5 million when the House settlement is approved. The meeting they had this week was, okay, now let's talk about scholarships, because that's going to be the other $7 to $9 million on top of the $20.5 million you have to come up with. All right. And that, of course, dealing with roster limits. Well, roster limits means, okay, every roster limit except for, I think, women's basketball, they're staying at 15. Maybe there's one other sport where there's no expansion, but everybody else is expanding or being allowed to expand, which brings with it scholarships, and guess what they cost? They cost money. Mm-hmm. Scholarships, room, board, cost money. Which now brings up something, the part that I don't think anybody really wants to talk about, but it's a reality. Mm-hmm. It is great for the sport of men's ice hockey that Penn State is in this as another brand name, because there will be no other brand names entering the world of men's ice hockey anytime soon. There will be no brand names entering the world of collegiate wrestling anytime soon. There will be no brand names entering Name the Sport anytime soon. It's not going to happen. With the money that you have to pay out now between revenue sharing and scholarships, nobody's expanding anytime soon. Okay, Penn State is fortunate that they got in 15 years ago to get men's ice hockey in here, and Terry and Kim put all that money in. They put in 88, and then they were asked for another 14. It got to 102, and they built the whole thing, and they've endowed the program. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're fortunate you have women's ice hockey right now. Right, all the sports you have right now. Okay, nobody is going to sit there. I would be shocked if somebody adds a program in the next 10 years. They financially can't do it. I'm sitting here. How many more mouths do I need to feed here? I don't have the money to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So for the sport of men's ice hockey, and you have 7 great brands in the Big Ten playing, because Notre Dame is a part of that mix as well. Mm-hmm. But don't think it's going to expand anytime soon. Don't think Indiana's going, hey, let's take on ice hockey. Illinois, no. Okay? You've got people sitting there saying they can't afford to do it unless you've got a Terry Pagula that comes in and Iowa has the arena to do it.
Yeah.
Did you make the trip to Iowa?
I've been to Carver Hawkeye. I have not been outside.
Okay, so remember we got off the highway? When we got off, well, I think Bob did this trip.
This trip he did.
Right, but when we get off the highway from Cedar Rapids, and then we swing down toward Iowa City,
yes,
there's that complex right at the exit. And that's where the Hyatt Regency is, where we used to stay, and I think we're staying at for football. There's an arena right next to it. Not like right next, but like two buildings down. Right? And it is, I think they play volleyball. Iowa plays volleyball in there, but it's also an ice rink. Right? Well, they could play men's ice hockey there, but they would need to have a mega donor do it. It's not existing. They're going to ask the mega donor to help out with NIL. They're going to ask the mega donor to help out with whatever donation that helps them with the $20.5 million. Okay? There's going to be no expansion of sports. Don't go with any vision of grandeur that suddenly out of nowhere 14 programs in the country are going to pick up wrestling. That's over. Okay? It's the other way around. Right?
Less.
It's going to be, please, I hope you pick sport. Okay? There are going to be a lot of difficult decisions in the next 5 years that are going to be made about programs across the country as to what to do with them when people figure out in reality what their resources are and where they fall short. And, for example, they know what's baked in the TV deals, okay, because they're baked into the end of this decade. And that's for every program across the country. There's no TV deal that's open right now. At the end of the decade, the TV deals, and let's take it even further. Let's go 7 years out. Actually, it'll be probably 6 years because that's the negotiating window. So 6 years. In that time frame, the Big Ten will have to be redone. The Big 12 will have to be redone. All right. The college football playoff will have to be redone. Okay. You say they just did it. Well, the contract 6 years. Okay. And the NCAA basketball men's tournament needs to be redone. And the SEC needs to be redone.
Yep.
Right? That's a lot that is going to have to get redone in a span of about 2.5 years, starting at the end of this decade. In a span of 2.5 years, it's then going to reset everything for probably the next 5 to 10 years after that. Let's just say 10 years. You're fine to the rest of the decade. But this deal that they're talking about with the settlement is a 10-year settlement. In the middle of the settlement years, you're going to have conferences redoing deals. So everybody knows what their numbers are off their media deals between now and the end of the decade. And in Penn State's case, they know it's both their radio contract and, their corporate contract and their TV contract. They know all of that. So Pat's got all that and can budget out knowing he can count on those numbers for the next 5 years. What about the next 5 years? And all these deals are coming in. And the NCAA men's basketball tournament, which is bringing in about $1 billion to be spread out among the schools, they've got to make sure that whatever, and look, they were close to not getting that the last time. I mean, CBS could not go it alone. And they were able to get Turner at the time, now Discovery Warner, and they actually pay for 70% of it. So back to tonight. This is an exciting night, but it's a great night for the sport because they've got a new brand that's a recognizable national brand, not just a recognizable hockey brand,
But a brand.
but a recognizable brand on the ice tonight that has national and not regional appeal. Denver's only a regional appeal. Okay, Western Michigan is a regional appeal. BU is a regional appeal. Penn State is a coast-to-coast brand. They've got a coast-to-coast brand out there tonight. It is a big night for the sport. Now, Penn State will go out there, and you know what? Have fun. And and there's no attitude of like, I'm playing with house money. You're not playing with house money. You're playing for the national championship. Go take it.
We're 6 periods away from winning it all.
Go take it. This is not, I always love when I hear, well, they're just playing with house money. You're playing with house money. Guess what?
They're here.
That's one of the big, you know how I hate myths in sports? House money is one of the greatest myths in sports. Again, another one of those where you sit back and go, where do you come up with this stuff? They're going to drop the puck, and guess what? You're going to fight your guts out to win the darn thing tonight. Right? It doesn't matter what money you're playing with. For goodness sakes, get out there, roll and go. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's about winning the game tonight to get to the title game. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to break down BU. I'm not going to pretend to do that because I'd be lying to everybody if I broke the game down for you. I can talk about Penn State. because I've seen Penn State either play in person how many times this year or seen them play on TV how many times, whatever it happens to be. That I can do. I can't tell you a thing about BU. Zero. I can't tell you anything about Denver, and I can't tell you anything about Western Michigan. Nothing. But this house money thing, right? Stop playing, in my opinion, stop playing the cliche game. Right? That's not what it is. Do you think they're all sitting in the hotel like, hey, this is great, we're playing with house money? Or you think they're sitting in there and go, okay, look, we've got to, this is the game plan, we got to do this, this, and this. We got to make sure that they don't hurt us with this. We've got to be better on special teams, the whole thing. You think they're sitting like going, hey, guys, let's just go have a great time. We're all playing with house money. No. I mean, do you think Penn State was playing with house money in the Big Ten basketball tournament championship game 2 years ago? A couple of fans may have thought that. A couple of media people may have thought that. Guess what? I was in the meetings. They were trying to beat Purdue and win the darn thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. That's not how it works. It's
tonight's
it's not how it works.
In the Enterprise Center for Penn State against BU, it's 8:30 p.m. The puck drop will be 8:30. Pregame starts 8:15 p.m. You can listen in to Eric Olson and Funk. They'll be on the call tonight.
They'll be great.
8:15. They'll be great. Of course, Brian Tripp is going over to Westwood. He'll be over there calling, I believe, all the Frozen Four matches.
He is. He's got all three games.
He has been co-opted for that, and then we'll have Eric and Funk on the call on the Penn State Sports Network.
They'll be
very
great.
Excited to listen to.
Yes,
and that's going to be late tonight. And then the winner of the Western Michigan Denver game in BU Penn State will take on each other 7:30 p.m. on Saturday. Is when that game goes on under the arch in St. Louis.
Look, you just don't know how many times you're going to get a chance to play for this.
How many times can you say, I'm going to be in the Frozen Four?
Right. In other words, this is what? How many years of the program? 13 years of the program? I remember the first interview I did with Guy. Right. It was on the coach's show. And I said, let's be honest. I said, this is how he said to me, he says, so how do you view where we are? He actually asked me, and I said, I tell you exactly how I view where you are. I said, you're an expansion team. I said, I said, you're an expansion team without a player entry draft. That you have to start from scratch. They are not putting players out there for you to pick like the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the Vegas Golden Knights weren't in existence back then.
But the point.
But Vegas and Seattle were able to pick players in the expansion draft and at least have a team. I said, you've got to sign them all from scratch. Well, they built the whole thing from scratch to get to this point. That's why I thought it was so important the way Guy interacted with all the former players. There is no Frozen Four unless those former players set it up to help get the program in a position to get to the Frozen Four, whether it's through recruiting, name recognition, something, making Penn State a big deal. Those former players did all that, and these current players have then taken upon themselves and have had as spectacular a second half of the season as you can ask a college program to have.
Saying they have been on fire is putting it lightly.
Right. But
they have no words.
But you get there to this point. There are too many assumptions made all the time in sports. UNLV beat Duke by 30 last year. They'll go, wait a minute. Do you mean they lost? They lost the game. Oh. The Fab Five will win. They never won a Big Ten title? They lost the 2 championship games, but they never won the Big Ten title. Right? Look at the great dynasties in football. Okay? Let's talk about the Raiders. Well, the Raiders are magical now with John Madden, and John Madden was magical. But you know what the knock on him was until they beat the Vikings in the Super Bowl and the Rose Bowl?
Couldn't win.
Couldn't win the big game. Well, his problem was they couldn't get past Pittsburgh. Okay. Tom Landry can't win the big game. All of a sudden he won Super Bowl VI. after being so close. I mean, you see all the great timelines on the Ice Bowl the year before, right? Everything, right? Couldn't win the big game. Bud Grant, the knock on a great coach, can't win the big game, right? And you get these labels. Well, when you get there, just take the darn thing.
Yeah.
You got to. You're not playing with house money. There's no such thing as playing with house money. Mega gambler such as yourself, that's former Major League will manage the U.S. Oh, who cares?
Jeez, unprofessional.
Who cares?
I'll text Dick Girardi and say, look at that. Steve. Look at Steve.
Mark DeRosa. Yeah. Look, that's that. There's no such thing as it. Okay? You have a chance to take it. Take it. Get your name etched on the as a forever. Right? Like, hey, this is great. We're playing. No. Hey, guess what? There's a reason why you got here.
Yeah.
There's a reason why nobody wants to play you. Okay? Just go take it. They've been fortunate to get certain guys back because Jimmy Dowd, for example, was out for a long period of time. I mean, even Sergeyev missed some time this year. And he's been tremendous in this run. I think having the 2 weeks off helps them because, all right, it's not quite 2 weeks. It's what, 10, 11 days.
But it gives them time
helps
to rest.
them, but it gave them the rest to heal up. Everybody is sore at this time of the year. Everybody is. And what's interesting is that they've made this run, and who hasn't been scoring goals? Aiden Fink. Oh, he's played really well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is not, he has a number of assists. His mere presence has opened up the ice for other people. But your Hobie Baker Award nominee doesn't have a goal in this run.
No.
I mean, that's the, if I'm Boston University, that worries me.
Because if he comes alive, what happens?
That worries me.
What if he gets 2 goals against you? Uh-oh.
Right. If he gets 1.
Yeah, that's when the red alert goes off no.
Okay.
Like the rest of these guys are scoring. If he starts scoring all of a sudden,
here we go. Yeah, and that's what you get concerned about. But that's the big story. It's exciting. Everybody I know is going to be locked in on watching this thing tonight.